All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome one, welcome all. Wow. What an exciting time. Listen, I got to tell you guys all, every single one of you, my butt was puckered up. I had puckered tootie, man. I was like, yeek. I was yeek. There's my post. There's my post I put in the members chat. So, listen, last night we were, you guys, listen, I've been calling this fake out play. I said, this is going to be a fake out. I've been calling this fake out. Now, I was wrong. I was wrong, and I will take it like I call it. I called for 160 as the, 4160 as the top for my fake out into this blue zone right here. That was my call. I was incorrect. It was 4187, so I did miss. I missed by, what is that, like 17, 27, 27 points, 26 points. So I did make a miss in the group last night. This is 12:30 my time in the morning. Here we are right here. People were asking me. I said, I am shorting 100% stacked up. I had myself stacked up to 7150. I was just, dude, I mean, it got up here and I was loading as much up as I could. I was loading all the way down right there at 4K. I started loading right into here. And then I loaded myself all the way up and I did a heavy fill up there. And listen, I am plus 1.3 BTC right now. So I'm over 1 BTC in profit from that trade. And listen, I am watching this very carefully. I'm going to move my stop loss down and into place. But yeah, an easy $4,000. We had members making money going up because I called that fake out absolutely perfect, and money going down. I also took off a perfect amount of my trade on EOS. So I had that long on EOS. Boom, look, I hit that EOS target. I took half my money off the trade under the 200. I did not reload. I said, nope, not going to reload till I see this baby close above. Never closed. We actually never had a full candle close above the 200 MA. I set my stop loss right at that 200 MA right there. I was thinking it could work as support, bounce off, and nope, the other 50% of my trade got whacked out. Now, Link, I did take it in the 2D on Link. I entered my trade right here. I had my stop loss at even. I did not make and or lose any money on this trade, and I did a pretty good job calling this. I was really hoping for a lot more out of Link. I didn't want to, it just wasn't enough for me to take profit right here. Wasn't enough. I had 10,000 Link, and it just wasn't enough for me to take profit. SV. So you're over here on SV. Take a look at the SV chart. And listen, this was a pretty easy call over here on SV. I said this looked like a rising wedge. And we're going to just take that baby for the win right there. We're going to take that one for the win. We are going to take Link, though, as a loss. Okay, we're going to call that a bad trade. So we're going to get over here. We're going to go right there. We're going to save Link. So I am going to call Link as a bad trade. Okay, so here's Link. Let's get this in here. Link. And boom. This was a bad trade. Broke even. But it was not enough of a run for me to take profits. Stop loss wrecked. Okay, so there was that trade right there. I also want to grab my EOS trade. Right, where's it at? EOS. There's the EOS right there. Wow, perfect on that one. So made a bunch of money on this trade. I think I made like 3 or 4,000 on it. It was like $3,000 on this trade, right? And winner. Oh shit, we got Cho to the house. Oh shit, peeps. We got the man, the myth, the legend. We got Chone in the house. How you doing, brother?
Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing today?
Oh man, dude, I haven't talked to you. You know what? Listen, I was sending him naked pictures of myself. I said, if you don't call me, I'm gonna start posting these live. Thank God he called me. Hey, how you been doing, man?
Good to hear from you. Yeah, you're actually live when I'm awake, so I decided to call in and see what's up.
Nah, yeah, yeah, seriously, man, it's been brutal for me.
Anything going
Brutal.
on today? Anything going on in Bitcoin today?
Wow, bring some charts up, man. Let's see what you got going. Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Yeah, you know what? I would say, man, people were, it was brutal last night, man. But the Bulls were like
Yeah,
charging
crypto
hard.
Twitter was extremely bullish last night into the morning, and in those times you get a little suspect when everybody's too exuberant and too happy on the bullish price action, and in those moments, that's where the rug gets pulled out from under you sometimes, especially in Bitcoin. And sure enough, this was the case once again.
Yeah, for those of you that are just joining us right now, please, if you have not, go over, subscribe to this man's channel. He is amazing, great content, always putting out the great content. There he is right there. Here, hold on a second. There he is right there, the man, the myth, the legend, Chonis. Feel free to go over and shoot that man a follow. Just tap it, rub it nice and hard for him. Great job. Why don't you break down your charts? You're live right now. They can see your charts.
Sure. So I got the six up that I was watching yesterday, and watching the bullish divergence, especially playing out in a lot of the altcoins. You know, Bitcoin's bullish. Go ahead.
Oh, I didn't say anything.
Oh, for Bitcoin's bullishness, and then seeing the altcoins show significant percentage gains above,
A
naming
hundred
Ethereum,
percent on EOS.
EOS, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin SV, and all ranging significantly higher from a momentum standpoint than Bitcoin was, and using that Bitcoin, whether you call it relative stability slash the intent of bullishness going into the weekend here. And Vamp, I was just hearing what you were saying about your fake out targets and the way that the break of the $4,100 area coinciding with our January 8th top off was a significant move to be able to break through it intraday yesterday before we closed yesterday's closing candle out. However, it was notable that we weren't able to close above it. We actually closed right below it there. And then the follow up intraday candle today, which we're still in this guy here, pushing that above, topping off a hair below $4,200. Now, these were our upside targets, right? I mean, the previous resistance line, the next previous resistance line. So once the break of 41.15 actually happened, you basically then had running room, you could argue, up to that next logical area of resistance there, which was the kind of our oops, hold on here, which was our next area to basically tackle. So we basically had this kind of zone, basically had this zone where the price action could flutter in to hold 41.15 as support and to test 42.30 potentially as resistance, and we weren't able to get up that high. We were short by uh, about $50 there, and then basically the floodgates unleashed and all these moves here. And this is a clear example why we all have to have our stop losses in check, and when you're in profit, to basically continue to rise your stop as the price action rises, because you don't want to lose any of that profit you're currently making. And at least if you get stopped out, you know that you're at least doing it in profit and not in a break even, and especially not in any kind of a loss there. So it's definitely notable to see that rejection here, and the way it basically transcribed to all the kind of altcoins there as well. The biggest area I'm watching here, I got my EMAs up here, but I'm going to hide those for just a moment. And the biggest area I'm watching here is our MA support, being able to break through the MA 100 several days ago. A little back test there, the follow-up candle, and then just to range and almost to separate from it there was quite notable and quite bullish. And notice how our back test right now
But
is current.
look at that volume. Look at the volume. It was going up.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
volume was just completely dying out.
we were rising in price and we were falling, or at least not accelerating in volume. And then today's bearish volume is what kind of pushed us to a higher high in terms of our volume profile there. So now MA 100 is being tested as support on the daily, currently holding. We do have a fail safe MA 50, which is in the 3600s there and relatively stable. And this is kind of two key MAs here corresponding with a horizontal area of support, which basically is right at our previous wick out here, right here at $3,700. So we literally tapped that, back tested it, right to the penny there, where we are currently finding daily candle support. Now, this area to hold is kind of okay. We basically found it as strong resistance. We're able to bust through it with strong support. And now we've back tested what was strong resistance, confirming it currently as strong support.
Now,
Question
do
is,
me a favor. You just had that channel up there. Can you put that channel back, but put it on the whole move?
oh, you mean the parallel? So something
Yes.
like this.
Yes. Perfect. Yep. There you go. See.
So let's do this. Let's hide some candles here. So yeah, and that's another thing where we have a confluence of channel support, parallel channel support, corresponding. Actually, I mean,
You
we
broke
we
it.
we broke
Oh,
it,
you
and now
wicked
we're
it. You wicked it.
wicked it there. So the channel, you could argue, okay, the channel's still holding. We basically got double rejected on the top, and now we're doing a double test of our bottom. Remember the last time we did find bottom channel support, we were able to find that and rise. So far, yes, you can argue, well, we're just doing this once again. We had found support here before. We're going to find support here once again and continue a little ranging followed by a bullish expansion. And that could still be in the cards here. And I'll say that as long as this $3,700, maybe 3650s max does hold. If we start losing that, then all this bullish momentum we've been able to acquire as we've gone through most of the February there, will be lost. And then we're talking about a significant trend change here. I wanted to make note of this tweet I put out a couple days ago, marking the previous two times where we had a bullish move followed by a retrace, followed by a second bullish follow-up move that puts in a lower high and consistently was being rejected around the 0.55 fib. We had it here, we had it here. And when I put this tweet out 2 days ago, we were right there as well, a little bit sub 4K. Now, this is on the weekly chart here. So now that we're on Sunday and kind of closing out the week, that was from a
Oh
previous show there. Let's kind of see where,
boy, that looks
and look at this weekly
ugly.
candle. Oh man, that's brutal. So this was our initial impulsive wave. We came back and we wicked out right at the 786, just a hair below it. And now we're basically still in that pattern of rejecting on the follow-up impulsive wave around the 0.55 to 0.618. So far on the weekly, that rejection trend is still in play, and we basically see what happens on the follow-up daily, weekly candles whenever that happens. It's a significant bearish retreat to potentially even a lower low possibility. So as this weekly candle, which closes out this evening in about 6
But
hours,
we were going to 5,000, sir.
well, that's what I was told. There was alt season. I already put my deposit in from a Lambo, and now I don't know what to do. The
Dude,
dealership is closed on Sunday.
seriously, I saw a few people saying alt season.
Well, let's piggyback on that for just a second. There, it's not just the fact that crypto Twitter was very bullish last night. I mean, there was reason to be. This was a very good-looking weekly candle. Our volume was decent. Our trends were looking good. The breaking through of the EMAs on the time frames there, but there were a couple ominous signs. The biggest one for me was this 12-hour bleeding, uh, um,
9. Yep.
aggressive 13 actually.
Yep. Yeah.
So we went to a 9 to a bleeding 9 to a combo 13, And this was by far on the 12-hour the latest count that we had that was suggesting, are we really this bullish here where we're going to do a full 9 to a combo on the 12-hour and then concede to continuation with a further climb before a kind of a pullback. Daily got to a 7 there. We were on a green 8, right? We were on intra-candle, the green 8. So we were starting to see later counts on higher time frames. And that was giving us a sense that even though we were very bullish, look at the 9 here on the 2-day. And the 3-day was as high as a 7. So we're getting a little bit later in these counts. And the question was, okay, are we going to test 42 before we hit the 42.50, which was 42.42, which was our previous resistance area, and then pull back a little bit? I think this dump and this pullback probably took a lot of people off guard. And overall, like, we have to ask ourselves, what was the catalyst pulling up this market? Was it Ethereum? Was it the fork? Well, was it the fork that was supposed to happen a month ago that got postponed and then allowed, another month or so of this kind of, oh, the fork's coming. Let's use this as of a catalyst to push up Ethereum, bring up the whole market there. And then remember, the fork is supposed to happen, tomorrow or the next day or so. So a lot of that was basically pulling up the market bullishly until this most recent move
You
here.
know,
So,
I wouldn't be
yeah.
surprised either. Like they have not confirmed this fork.
Oh, they could be postponed again.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely.
I wonder
Absolutely.
this. I wonder if there's some shady ass shit going on. Like if people are like someone knows that the fork might not happen or something like that. I would like to
And
see some
yeah.
kind of a confirmation tweet from them. It's not cool to do this. Like they should be giving people updates constantly. I don't know if anybody out there is that are watching. I mean, are you guys getting does anybody have any news or updates at all on Ethereum? Because I mean, they canceled the last one like pretty tight to the deadline too, didn't they? How many days out did they do it?
Yeah. No, it wasn't days. I think it was hours out before they decided to cancel the last one.
And I wonder if the same thing is happening and somebody has some inside info.
Yeah, because the reasons for their previous cancellation were like, hey, we're ready, and we're also not on the same page as to what actually upgrades are happening. It's hard to think that after a month and a half of that, everybody's now on the same page again. Um, in terms of, okay, we basically now know what's going to happen to the fork. Remember, this fork is not a free coins fork. It's just like a software upgrade fork. So it's going to be interesting to see when, if the fork happens and people are not able to trade Ethereum during that process, what kind of pre-volatility there might be, and then what kind of post-volatility there might be. And the bigger narrative about that, I'll just talk about Ethereum for just a moment here, is, let's say this fork does happen and it's over. What's the bullish case for Ethereum going past that? If this was a major event that was planned for some time, it was supposed to happen around here. It didn't, and this is that big candle sell-off here we had when the fork was canceled. Now that we've almost put in a higher high, what is the catalyst to drive Ethereum any higher right now? So overall, yes, we are still holding uh, retreat areas. We are still holding kind of those notable must-hold support areas. And yes, overall, this pullback can allow a lot of our overbought and exhausted indicators to kind of reset and to
Mm,
retool. We were really high on the daily RSI, poking above 75. I think intraday, Van, we were actually on equal par of our July 24th RSI peak out
yeah,
of about 77. So
I
again,
call
you
that the tease number one, the tease one
yeah,
and
so
tease two.
these double taps of historic RSI pricing resistance can play out, and this was forming up to be some sort of a head and shoulders here similar to this guy here, I didn't foresee this next little push here, but now that it's happened, yep, there it is. We're still in this kind of play here where we might find a little correction after being a little oversold short term to get us back Bitcoin, maybe 3850, maybe even 3900, giving us our right shoulder here. And then, we'll see how that plays out from there. But yeah, this was a really nasty rejection, having found resistance at the 786 and now currently finding support at the 382 extension of the overall wave one move. And Vamp, is this the C wave completion that we were kind of waiting for? Is this that okay, there's going to be one more push to a higher high, and now we can go down in some sort of a 5-wave
Yeah,
corrective
that's like
pattern?
it's like a flat ABC
Yeah,
flat right
yep,
there.
yep, yep, yep.
We'd have to hold. So you're gonna have to hold if you're using Elliott. You're gonna have to hold that where that B candle. See where B was? You have to hold the top of B. Go ahead, do it again.
Oh,
Yeah, hold the top of that B candle. See where B is?
right here.
What's that? What's throw a line on that thing? Not the wick. Throw a line in the top of the candle close, right there.
Just the close. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
What is that? 36.
20.
3620. So if 3620 holds, you could that could potentially be that looks like a 1 2. Looks like wave 4 right here.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, so yeah. Uh, 1,
Yes.
2. This was all 3. 4 into the wick of 1, but
Sorry,
still
people.
holding.
I'm going to screen is I'm gonna. I would go a little higher with that actually. With that 5, or it could be or on the other
Well,
side.
if
Sorry.
one. So yeah, I
One,
mean,
two,
3
three.
was quite an extension of 1. So I would say that 5 would probably be
So 5
if it is, would be
technically needs to make a little bit of a higher high.
a truncate. I could see it as a truncated
Could
just
be a
because the
truncated
3
5.
was
Yeah, it could be.
extended. So something
And
conservative would be another tap of the 4K and then a rejection at the closing candles.
and the reason why I could see something like this right here is because you still have ETH a couple days away, right? It's the
Mhm.
27th or the 28th. So I'm worried that we could get another, maybe another push up.
But can we do that with? I mean, this the shorts are approaching all-time lows. Not all-time lows. They were much lower there, weren't they? But they are just not taking any of the bait. Like the shorts deleveraged into this drop, and the longs didn't really do much at all. So there's nothing about a leverage standpoint that benefits longs at this area. And if we do rise slightly, I'd be watching to see if shorts are going to begin to load into this, which they've been very reluctant to do so.
Yeah,
I mean, the shorts
nobody's
here,
loading into this
nobody
thing.
wants to short this thing. And now we're way below this line of volatility where we had previously found pop, 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 and then just failed. So we're putting in more of a horizontal area of support here, corresponding with our August lows of our shorts. So we might actually find some support there. And then longs, look at longs here. They got liquidated. See, this was a long squeeze. Look at this candle
Oh,
now on the
Jesus.
longs on the
Yeah, yeah,
daily.
yeah.
They were super high, very Maribozu bullish, and then yikes.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
longs
The
were
way that
mooning.
these candles are going to close out on these higher time frames, especially, the weekly. I mean, is falling into next week when we have a closing weekly candle um, that is as looking like this. Now, we've had daily candles that are inverted hammers, and I guess the argument of an inverted hammer on the weekly still could definitely be in
It
play.
would be a bullish pin bar.
Yeah, yep, yep.
Bullish pin bar.
But
But here's my thing. Take that down to a 12 hour. Or actually a 3 day. Run it to a 3 day. Go a 3 day. Okay, yeah. Make it, stretch it so it's a little taller.
do we close this out?
Now
No,
that
we just opened this.
looks,
We
yeah,
started this
yeah.
one.
Now a lot of people are looking at that and saying, hey, and I saw Brian said, hey, does that not look like an inverted head and shoulders to you? Actually, that right there, starting on like February 11th, looks like a head and shoulders. And what I can do is I can explain that better to you guys with one of my charts. But yeah, there you go. Yeah, throw the head and shoulders in there.
The
Your
regular
B
one.
to your C. Yep, a regular head and shoulders. So I'm gonna let him throw that in there.
Are we talking this?
Yep, that's it. Now remember, it can be a sloping head and shoulders too, so you can also get that, and that would give you that A, B, C. That actually that would be a little bit, I'd be a higher. No, your left bottom shoulder. Yep, there you go. Oh no, that needs to go up to the
Oh, there
top
it
of the
is right there.
wick, and then and then your inside one needs to go up. Yep, that needs to go up. There you go.
Then I'm losing. I'm losing
Yeah,
this
no,
guy.
no, no, no. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna make it sloping. So then you're gonna grab. No, take the left one all the way to the bottom. Yep, the left one all the way, and there you go. See what I'm saying?
Aha. Like that.
Yes, like that. So it'd be a sloping head and shoulders possibility. Got it?
So another hold here, climb back over 4K
Yeah. See, that's
ish. I mean, how high is?
no. So what I would do is I would drop that one, drop the middle of the right shoulder, drop that down to the green line. Drop the middle. No, that's the top of the right shoulder. So drop the middle of the right shoulder.
This
There
one
you
here.
go. Down because you're not done falling.
Right.
Right? You're not done falling there. So I think you would just have to, yeah, something like that. Now,
Okay, I
yeah,
hear you.
and let me show you guys. So I'm gonna take this over to one of my charts real quick. Let me show you guys one of my charts here, okay? So, and the reason behind this is a couple things. So we're gonna go all the way over here. So here is my. So what I looked at this is this shape. See how I have this head and shoulders right here. So there's that head and shoulders right there that I had, right? That's probably somewhere like that. Right? Now here's the thing. You gotta hold that 3600 line or this does turn itself into a head and shoulders. And the reason is because of this shape you have over here. This turned out to be either this is a massive head and shoulders like this, right? There's a massive head and shoulders, and or it's a three-leg down. So I have I mean, other people don't use it, but I call it a three-leg down. So you got an up, a down, an up, and there's three legs. So the leg up, the leg down, and then the leg up, and then the dump. And we're kind of did the same thing here on this three-leg down, and you did it right here at the top. Up, down, up. This is a three-leg, and then down. And I was calling this as a head and shoulder, massive head and shoulders, and or a three-leg down. And the issue is, now, if you come down, look, you put in the head and shoulders there, you put the three-leg down there, you put the head and shoulders there, and this looks like, now the issue is this is looking like a massive head and shoulders, but the top right here looks like a three-leg down. You see how you get this little divot right here, and I'll show you, let me clean this up. See this little divot, this little depression? There's the same little depression right there. Right? These are called a two-leg or a three-leg down. This is shit I just made up, guys. I really did. it's my own shit, all right? You're not going to find this in some TA book. This is ramp shit, all right? So, and we did the same thing right here. And you did the same thing right there. And then that was the dump. So this to me looks like a three-leg and down, all right? And then I can also show that here was my most important chart that I put up last night. So I posted this chart last night, and I called this my poopy chart, right? So what this shows, and I got called out by a bunch of people for this, right? Like on Twitter, a bunch of people were like, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about, Vamp," blah 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 blah. So yesterday, this stayed down here, right? This little thing stayed all the way down here, right? This little piggy went home. And I put up the chart yesterday, and let's go find that. Give me a second. I want to show everybody so you guys can see exactly what I said. I love Johnny. All right, where's it at? Where's my poopy chart? All right, here it is. So this is my poopy chart here. So look, you had this huge run. You see this big run right here? You had the run from all the way to the bottom here, all the way to the top right here, right? This is a big run, peoples, right? This is a nice big run. And yesterday, look, it didn't even move. This, see the poopy circle? There's the poopy circle, and there's the poop, right? It didn't move. So what this chart shows is an actual trend change. When this chart shows volatility, right? This is, see this move? These are beautiful. This is gold. This is bull gold right here. These moves are real volatility moves where what's happening is people are exchanging Bitcoin, and they're exchanging, it's going from one wallet to the other wallet, and people are moving, and they're really selling, and they're really doing it correct, right? So this is exactly what is a real move. These are real moves. And then you had this, see the poopy? And there was no move here. This was all bullshit, right? This is poopy. Look, no real move here. This was poopy, and it died. And then look, there's this dump. Beautiful move, right? Another baby dump. Beautiful move. Massive dump. Really, really nice move. And then you worked your way all the way down. And then I said, this is total fucking shit. And I posted it on Twitter last night. I said, this is full of poo-poo, right? This is totally full of poo-poo. And I got called out, right? Some guy called me out. He said, you don't know what you're talking about, fam. A couple people are like, you can't use this. And that's not correct. What this does, and what the underlying key is, this just tells you when a trend change occurs. So I know if it's a legitimate move. That's the one reason I have the historical volatility chart up, because it will tell me, yep, that was a legitimate trend change right there. Okay, that was legit. And now we had a legit move. The rest of this move up was not a legitimate move. All right. And here's our shorts to longs chart. Look at the RSI, deep RSI on both the longs and the shorts. Look at the shorts just balling out to the bottom right here. Even though we had that pump, they're balling to the bottom. Ugly wick by the longs. But I want to have Chon go over this, because this is kind of his specialty. I have been showing everybody the Bollinger Bands for the last few days, and how absolutely crazy we were outside of the top Bollinger Bands here, right? I'm gonna let Chon show us on his chart. Let me pull his chart up there, and there you go, buddy. I want you to do this. I want you to do the 3-day and the 2-day, and I want you to really show the 2-day for me. Would you do that?
Sure. Well, I just want to start on the daily, because what you just said about breaking through the upper Bollinger was so accurate. We have examples on this entire move here where we are able to bust through candle wick like we did in December. We have examples where we hit firm rejections of the upper Bollinger like we did in January. We have examples here again in February of the initial breakthrough and close below. And then bam, this was our expansion as our Bollingers were expanding and having 1, 2, 3 days above close, consolidate, and then to push through once again for a fourth close above the upper Bollinger. This is one of two things. This is either, wow, very bullish, even though our volume profile is still lower than what we have been seeing earlier in terms of our bullishness we had on our initial bottom here. So you wanted to see this volume be closer to this buy volume here, and we weren't. We were, less than half in some of these circumstances to at least less than the 1-to-1. Looking for middle Bollinger to act as support is key, as it was rejection here, and now can be acted as support, and containing any kind of a continuation of an uptrend, that middle Bollinger support is necessary. Now, the 2-day, similarly, way outside the upper Bollinger, a little tighter here. little tighter. So I'll give deference to a day or two, but to have, this was a 2 day, to have 6 days and then working on the seventh day here above the upper Bollinger, not closing below it, was unprecedented bullishness, and kind of gave you a sense with this volume not correlating with how strong the candles were, at least looking, still looking for that middle support there. 3 day as well. We don't close above our upper Bollinger on our 3 day for very long.
Only our
If,
second touch on the
yeah,
top of the 3-day Bollinger Band in the history of the bear market.
yeah. So it was notable to close above it on day one, but to go for 6 days above it on the 3 day, or at least to have that continue on the higher 3 day, was something. Now, just on the weekly here, this
Whew.
was an achievable target. Our middle Bollinger around 4448 and falling. This was an achievable target just because of how the price action had previously reacted to it. However, it is notable that after our tether pump we had here, remember this guy, the second attempt to touch the middle Bollinger, the price action was too weak to get up to it. So a close but no cigar circumstance was definitely in the possibility, and seemingly enough here, that seems to be what happened. But just overall in the weekly, look at where the wicks are. We wick out here when we get above or close damn to at $4,200. So to think that this weekly candle was kind of break through this one as well and hold above was pure hopium. And even if we were able to, the strong rejection I was expecting, if we could touch the middle BB on the weekly, was right there, just a few $100 higher here. So,
Hey, buddy,
as you
do me a
said,
favor.
yeah,
Do me a favor. Pull up the 2014 chart, Bollinger Bands, with this side by side. Can you
sure.
do a side by side chart on the weekly, right, with 2014?
So go to BLX.
No, you can do it on. Yeah, probably BLX. Yeah.
Yes.
There you go. Now go to the weekly. There you go. That'll go faster. Now, I want everybody to take a look at this in comparison to exactly what happened back in 2014. He's going to bring it up here. Yep, I think that's it. Yep, there you go.
You want it on the weekly, right? Yeah.
Yep, weekly. All right, so up to the left. Yep, there it is. There it is right there. Yep. All right, now take a look at you've got two weekly candles that look like that. Okay, stretch out your left one a little more. Stretch it up and down a little more. There you go. No, not that one. The one on the left. There you go. All right, now squish the other one down. You got to move it to the. Yep, there you go. Squeeze it in. Now down a little bit. All right, there you go.
Oh, 14. There we go.
Yeah, no. So you're looking at November 14. November 14. November 14.
Oh, I see what candle you're looking at. There
Nope,
you go.
nope, nope. You're too far left. You got to go right. Keep going.
This guy?
And there you go.
Very, very similar, aren't they?
Very similar candle setup right there. Now, if you take a look at that, we are about to close out this weekly, people, in 6 hours. This
Yep.
weekly closes in 6 hours. I'm gonna say that this candle kind of holds itself here, right? Now, if you kind of look at that chart, I mean that's very similar.
Look, if this was our ABC and this was their ABC, where C was higher than A. Now that's the thing, is
But
C
look
isn't
at how
higher than A.
it's not. But look at how close that was to that Bollinger Band.
Yep. So
Look,
here we were able to get above it intra-week before the strong rejection,
tap it.
and
Yes.
here not close, but not really there yet.
Now
And
let me
yeah,
explain something to you guys, okay, real quick. This is what you need to understand. In order to move the market in 2014, all right, so let's look at today and let's look at 2014. If you took $1 billion today, 1 billion, how far do you think you could move the market, right?
A billion,
X.
quite a lot
So,
actually.
but give me a range. $1 billion would move the market what? How far? How many hundreds? How many? A thousand points?
Are we going all into Bitcoin here, or?
All into Bitcoin.
Yeah, $1 billion of Bitcoin would go. Yeah, I could see at least 50, at least up to the $5,200 area, maybe.
Okay. In 2014, how far would $1 billion have moved Bitcoin?
Well, we were in 400. It could have almost doubled it,
It could have quadrupled it.
quadrupled it. Yeah,
A
even more so.
billion dollars. So my thing is, if you look back when you're doing your TA or you're looking at your charts back in 2014, you also need to take into account that it took less money in order to move the market a greater amount, right?
Mm,
So when they were putting in millions back in 2014 and 15 and moving the market, it only took millions of dollars to get a candle to look like that right now. That
yeah,
candle right there just lost 14 billion, 11
billion.
billion dollars.
Yeah,
Just to make that candle took 14 billion. We lost 11 billion dollars on that one candle. 11
check.
billion.
Yeah, and also just the volume of the past couple days here. Like we were seeing volumes that we haven't seen, Vamp, for months. Over 9 billion, 9 billion, 8 billion, 7, 9 billion. So we were seeing the volume, and our market cap went from basically rose $12 billion, and now we are at 67. So we just lost about $6 billion on Bitcoin market cap from the dump we had today. Um, Something else that's interesting too is Bitcoin's dominance through this entire move. We've been seeing altcoins clearly have the better play from a percentage standpoint, and um, that's why we're seeing Bitcoin dominance be weak in the low 50s. I'm looking for Bitcoin dominance to rise here. If this is a realer pullback and a real more, okay, we're not going any higher, this 52.2 here should begin to rise as we go into next week, basically as money gets pulled out of the altcoins and Bitcoin. And basically, if we saw the altcoins rise higher percentage wise, we should see an equal percentage drop in any kind of a significant pullback here. Um, so this whole move here was not just based on news driven events and the chart. I think the similarities though of 2014 Vamp, like you're pointing out here, is striking. Not just in this
Eerie.
example of what
Eerie.
happened the last time, but I'll go back to my tweet here is that this is still bear market action here, and bear market action continues to suggest the second push is a lower high and is a followed by a strong rejection capitulation move to almost a retap of the previous low of 3200 3150 or even potentially a lower low. And because of this move here, are we still putting in
So go
you
back to
know
that chart. Go back to your other chart you just had. Yes, that. Okay, so I'm going to share with you guys my chart, and it's very similar to what Chonis has right there. So take a look at mine. So what I did is I said over time these white line breakouts, and this is my bubble chart. So I created this bubble chart system, and you can learn how to. I have videos on how to put this bubble chart system together. But here you can see this white line, and I said every time you get a break over the white line, it keeps getting exponentially weaker over time. The first time right here, 29%. Second time right here, 16%. Third time, 11%. And then last night when I did my video, I said, look, we're at 8.41%, right? And this is when I said, and we're now testing number 4. This is when I went on Twitter last night and I said, timber, right? Because these are dropping exponentially, and this exponential drop as you've broken this white line really is what called this dump. Now, here is the issue that we have right now. This is the issue we have at hand at this very moment, people, okay? Our issue that we have at hand is we still have Ethereum possibly performing a fork. And if you think back to when BCH did its fork, we also had a big fallout pre-fork.
Yep.
So
Yep.
if you go back, if Sean would go back for us on BCH, right, and he'll pull up that chart, we had a big fallout on BCH right before pre-fork, and then after that, we had one more run back up on BCH, and then when that happened, then the fork happened, and then everything just dumped out hardcore, except for everything dumped, and then ABC went crazy, and so did
Yeah,
SV.
and well, SV actually went crazy first. It was actually
First,
almost
yes, yep.
a interesting precursor here. See, the BCH ABC on Coinbase was a little weird because here was the dump, here was the cutoff, and then there was a gap for a couple days when Coinbase had to figure out, are we going to stick with ABC as BCH or SV as BCH? They chose ABC. Here's where it came back online for trading, and then, as you said, it was just a tremendous fall with a equally tremendous rise of almost 200% there off this extreme. So this is one of those blood
Gorgeous.
in the streets by stock move here, and BCH, sorry, SV has actually been bearishly moving in line with ABC. ABC actually looks a little stronger overall in this corrective
Mm-hmm.
pattern here, but overall, when you add these two together, $130 and $60, we're at $190 with a pre-fork valuation of over $400. So pre-fork, we're still 50% below our pre-fork price if you combine both of the Bitcoin crashes together. But remember, this fork is not the same as the Ethereum fork. This was a splitting up. One coin becomes two coins. ETH will still be ETH. It's more of a back end upgrade. But you're right. Is this the situation here where we're seeing the dump before the fork, and then
A
there'll be a
pump.
pause? The pump, then the
I
pre-fork dump.
Yeah, so my worry right now is that we will have a pump. We could possibly have another run up
In the next 48 hours,
in
what
the
you're saying?
next 48 hours.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
okay, no, okay, so technically we got 4 days,
Is it the 28th?
yeah,
Because I know
28th,
the 20th.
28th,
It's 28th. Okay.
27th or the 28th. So
Yeah.
it's the 24th right now. It'll be the 25th UTC time. 6th, 7th. So you got 2 to 3 days
Wednesday
until
or
we
something.
have the fork. Now, here's the funny part. This is what I'm worried about. Why is Ethereum so quiet right now? Like everybody, SV, everybody was going crazy, absolutely crazy. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over here, and I'm gonna make a post. Okay. All right. So here's my Twitter post. All right. All right. Here is the issue at hand. At hand, we are being still led. We're still being. What are you going to say? What is the Ethereum doing to the market? We're still being held hostage.
Propped up.
Yeah, held hostage by the ETH fork. Number one, what at Vitalik?
Yeah.
Vitalik, give us an update. Right? Number two, will this be another last minute fail? Right? Number three, is does someone already have inside info to the ETH fork? ETH fork. Fail. And I'm not going to even say it's fail, right? So these are all important questions that we need, right? Because we need to know this. We need this info to understand the next move over the next few days, right? All right. See if I can pull it all off in 1, 4. All right, we'll get rid of that. We're just going to get rid of that right there. All right. All right, because I think this is really important to doing TA over the next 3 days, okay? All right, go for it.
Yeah.
Sorry, buddy, go for it. I just
Yeah,
want to make sure we're all on the same page.
I wanted to talk about Bitcoin CME futures.
Go for it.
We talked about the
Yes.
gaps. So here's what's going to happen tonight. In about 5 hours, I believe, CME futures opens. It always opens on Sunday evening, and right now it will be gap down because right now Bitcoin's around 37 something, and CME closed at 39 something. So we already have a gap. From the gap up, we had a little over 10 days ago at 35.71. I'm on my 4-hour chart here. Now, we've
Ooh.
talked about the much higher gap still open at 43.91. That is still open. Obviously, there's our gap on the hourly chart down at 31.38 and our current gap on the 4-hour at 3573. And then we're going to have another gap probably, unless Bitcoin decides to rise $200 in the next 5 hours. That's kind of open up another gap above what the price should actually be when it does open up this evening here. So we get a whole series of gaps as far up to the 4300s, but definitely as far down to 35 something and even lower. So I bet you there'll be a gap open in 5 hours up to 3900 that would eventually, you would assume, be closed as well. So now we have this, okay, which one gets closed first? 4391 still feels very elusive at this point. Do we close 35.73, go back up, close 39.31, and then fall, or
See,
what's
doesn't
going to
that
happen
look like a
here?
head and shoulders right there?
It does, especially with the cleanness of the shoulder formation over here, and that would constitute being able to close the gap at the $3,500 area, if that was going to be the case there. Something like that has to form. Where we get that, and this is what a lot of the charts look like because it had the push consolidation and then that next leg there. So right now we're basically in the head to forming the next potential neckline support all the way down here. So CME will be interested also with some stocks too. There's a couple Bitcoin stocks that are tradable. We have our GBTC that if you were riding a very bullish GBTC chart over the past several weeks here, there were some really great gains here on the GBT side of the Bitcoin trade, and not just on the heck is it price range, and not just on the Bitcoin side. So after our bottoming there, GBTC has also been almost a 36% mover, and people are still, if you're holding this thing, you're still long going into the weekend here where Bitcoin was a little under 4K. So you're kind of open up with a decent gap down tomorrow if Bitcoin cannot recover substantially in the next 20 hours or so. So this is an example of
So
where
those people
holding,
that were long into the weekend,
you know,
what's going to happen to them when it reopens up down here?
they're kind of gap down. And here's the thing, you were rewarded last weekend if you held, right? If you bought on Friday at $4.24. You opened up almost in the high $4 there. So it was a gap up Monday morning. Here you go. Congratulations. Here's some free money. You were rewarded for holding through the weekend. This weekend, it's the inverse. You're actually going to get your ass handed to you if you were long GBTC going into the Friday close. And this also corresponds to several blockchain related stocks that were very bullish over last week. That will be interesting to see how they open up come tomorrow. So we're going to see potentially a lot of gap downs across the board on everything stock crypto related because of this Bitcoin move here. Listen, lower time frame, oversold, or finding support. So the 4 hour candle, we're definitely working on some bottom support wicks here. Again, in this clean area, we would expect to find support. $3,700 for now is a stop and reverse area. Stop, stop, reverse, and now it's acting as support. But man, if we break through $3,700, then a lot of that, okay, we're just finding our support, whether it's being our leg here. And as you said, this can still be a wave 4 of a 5-wave structure here. As long as wave 1 is not violated. And so far, so good. Barely right now, like literally barely. And because 3 was a larger extension of 1, the truncation of 5 is definitely in play. So I would expect us to continue to find some support here and to try and build up a little higher. To truly see if there's no one who prepared to buy over this area. Personally, I was extremely skeptical we were going to get back over 4K. I was extremely skeptical we were going to see $50 Litecoin again. Getting up to 53, 56 here was quite amazing, and Litecoin definitely led the way all the way up. It was the precursor to every bullish move. It gave us a kind of a heads up in the market that when Litecoin was kind of push, you knew you almost had time to kind of load up some longs.
Pull up that 12 hour on Litecoin. Look at that
Yeah,
shooting star it's got.
Yeah, the 12 hour on the higher time frame here. And then this
That's
complete
a beauty.
rejection here, Maribozu rejection right at $52 there. Just extremely strong here. So on this Sunday, as things are starting to play out, I almost feel like we'll know the direction of pretty soon. I just feel a trickle up into next week is possible, but the patience of the market is definitely something
Yeah.
I'm always skeptical about. And we've seen this before. Every time we have a good run in this bear market, right here, the collapse is shocking and almost takes a lot of people off guard. The thing that's different this time between these times is just how deleveraged the shorts are here. This was a long squeeze. This was a total long squeeze here. And even though longs were capitulating and had sold off quite a bit right here on that last bullish pop, they were pretty bullish yesterday heading into it, and they just got their hands slapped.
Yeah.
Are you offline?
Nope.
Oh, there you are. You're back. So yeah, so that's the thing. I think this is going to be a very interesting close here. But and as we said, so far this weekly, even though it's pretty rough, to hold at least a green and the chance, because it kind of so far it's still holding the equilibrium of this channel, kind of until proven otherwise. But I'd be hard pressed to see how Ethereum or Litecoin now brings us that momentum that we want to see. I almost feel like this is Bitcoin saying, no, I'm the boss, I'm the king, and what I say goes, because this was like, no more. At least for right now. So, but again, we're finding support in this key area where we expect to hold it. And until proven otherwise, this can still be a bullish 5-wave pattern. without the failure of the $3,700 area.
Yeah. All right, so let's go over everybody. I know a lot of people, especially the members, have been waiting to take a look at probably one of the most important signals that we have in crypto. So this is one of the charts I put out right here.
The
Six.
CNBC counter trade.
That yeah, the until 1 mil scalper.
Ah,
Right, so if you guys take a look here, this thing has been the absolute most beastiest caller in all of crypto. If you are a swing trader, this baby is absolutely on the money through the entire bear market. Long call, short call, long call, short call. So this call was still good. There was the short. You would have exited your trade if you were just playing the indicator. Long call, and we went to the short call. So now we just landed the short call right here. Now this 3-day candle, like Peak just pointed out a second ago, this 3-day candle is not closed. This is a 7. We are still technically on a green 7. It has not fallen far enough to turn into a red 1. Pretty sure for it to fall far enough, it's going to have to get down a little closer to the 3,600 range. Once it gets down 3,600, it will flip to a red 1. We have now, if this stays a green 7 like we just talked about, if you go back over here and you see what happened with the green 7 back in April, you then popped up a green 8, then the momentum died, but you did put in a higher high right there, and then the momentum died, and we had a massive sell-off down to what was technically, well, what was a new lower low of the bear market. This is a short call. Let me tell you what, people, this short call is absolutely freaking insane. And with Ethereum still in play, we could get this green 8 posted back up here to be another little punch up. Get that wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 for that little green wave back up before we actually, the balloon got popped out of here and we deflated and this whole thing died. Now, the one thing that does keep me in a very challenging situation here is Ethereum. Listen, if it wasn't for Ethereum, I would literally be shorting the absolutely the bejesus out of this thing. And unfortunately, right now, your stop loss on this is either got to be 4,400. 4,400 needs to be your stop loss on this. I know this is tough. This is a really tough thing. But look here, if you called this short call, you traded this short, your stop loss needed to be this tippy top of that candle right there, 10,154, right? Here, this would have been real tough because your stop loss would have had to be way up here on this. You would have had to have a really high stop loss. You could have gone tight, probably down here to 7,000. But, the 6,800 short call, I would have probably gone back here. I did short this. I then did short this again right here. And I was bearish after the short call. We all know that. And we played this out beautifully. Long call, listen, I opened up my trade at 31 to 3,200. I am still in that 1-to-1 trade. I'm probably going to take profits here. Now, if this flips into a red 1, if we flip this baby into a red 1, I will be looking to flip, just exit all of my longs. I'll be out of my long. That is the last long trade I'm in. I'm in at 31 to 3,200, and this right here is scary. That was a $500 drop. It is very scary because look, short call, couple green candles, capitulation. Short call, couple green candles, capitulation. Right? Short call. You could put up, like, this could just ride out another couple green TDs. TDs, green TDs, green TDs. You could look for a couple more green TDs before a fall. And the Ethereum fork does have me a little skeptical on this baby. So that's really one of the things that I would be watching out for. Now, let's take a look at, did we get caught on any of there's our 12-hour. We haven't hit the lower. What I'll do is I'll pull this off. We're looking to see if we caught any lower. Nope. So the 12-hour, the 3-day, we did not hit the lower Gauss trend line. 2-day, nope. Daily, nope. So all of these say, look at there, you were rejected on the daily Gauss perfectly came back down. Listen, one of the most effective tools you can get in crypto is this Gauss trend line. You can see how well this thing actually works out. There's your mean line. This thing is trying to come back and tap the mean line. The mean line right now is sitting at 3581, which would be really important for that CME gap right there. So the gap close 3581 right there would be important. And then I'll let you share the weekly. Weekly is nothing, but man, that candle is a whole bunch of ugliness. Then your weekly is all the way down at 2063. Listen, I know a lot of people were very, 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 very bullish here. Very, very, very bullish. And I have been an adamant person saying the bear market is not over. Okay?
Somebody put a tweet out that what, you and me are the only two bears left.
Yeah, we're like the only bears left. The bear market is now. Tone Vase is a bear. Willie Woo's a bear. What's his
Tone's
name?
still wanting that 5K retest, though. He still thinks we can get up
I
there.
watched his show today, and he's like, "No, I don't think so." He said 80% chance we don't hit 5K.
And that's the thing. It's about there's a bandwagon effect, obviously, that happens. I think this, it's hard to say what the whole JP Morgan coin did in terms of potentially bringing new money into crypto the past couple of weeks. It was definitely something that brought attention to crypto. And we saw the volume come in, especially with CME like that. So I wonder if that catalyst just brought some fresh money in so that people just could dump on them.
Yeah, yep, yeah, exactly. Dave's got a chart. Let's see what Dave says. Dave says he is still a bull. Yeah, I'm not going to watch your video, Dave. Sorry, buddy. Later. People feel free. David has great videos. If you guys want to check out his videos, he's posting it up right there. Awesome videos. But I am still a bear. Tyler also. Oh, I thought that was a video. Oh, that's a video. Yeah, it's a video. Yeah, if you had a chart, I was going to post it. So listen, people. I am still a bear. And the reason I am still a bear is one simple, common sense fact. This is a fucking fact. Okay? When you have 500, 600 projects and you have BTC and Ethereum and LTC as the leaders of the pack, there is a tighter funnel of money that goes into BTC, Ethereum. Big investors believe in the larger projects. They believe in Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin is now ingrained in history. It is not going to just disappear quietly. And I'll tell you what, you're not going to see you don't ever hear these Ethereum, these ETFs like, oh shit, we're gonna have an ONT ETF, and we're gonna have a fucking OMSIGO ETF, and we're gonna have a Link ETF. That shit is not gonna happen. Okay, that shit is not going to freaking happen. You're not gonna happen. They talk about Bitcoin. They talk about Bitcoin. They talk about Bitcoin. Ethereum doesn't even work, people. It doesn't work. Nobody runs shit on Ethereum. Right? There are no dApps being ran on Ethereum. That's why they're fixing it. If you go and look at Ethereum's timeline, they're fixing Ethereum so it can work, right? So my point is, if people think we're going to get a bull run, only two things are going to happen to get a bull run. You're going to have an ETF, right? We're going to have an ETF, which we don't have, or you're going to have backed, right? Which is a major futures platform, which we don't have. Also, right? We're not going to get it till the end of the year. We already know this, okay? The issue is you've got to kill off 2,000 altcoins. If you want a bullish run, you need to cull the herd. Cull the herd, right? And that's what needs to happen. Yes, we need somebody to go to jail. I've been saying that forever. I'm just waiting for it, right? But you need to cull the herd of all of these goddamn freaking, you got to cull the herd of all of these goddamn alts, because the problem is these alts pop 500%. Well, everybody takes their money and they stick it in. I put my money in EOS. I put my money in Link. I didn't put my money in Bitcoin. I was like, oh, I'm going to make these nice juicy returns. I made 100% return on EOS. It was beautiful. It was great. But you can't have that if you guys want BTC to run. And unless BTC runs, you're not going to get a bull market. And you're not going to get a bull market with 2,000 altcoins where one pops 1,000 and then everybody gets wrecked. I mean, dude, look at how many people just got their asses wrecked in Ethereum. How many
Yeah.
people you think just got wrecked in Ethereum? How many people you think just got wrecked in EOS or in ICX or in all these other, the things? I mean, everybody, look at that. Hear me. This is me. Vamps chart. Nope. Nope. I down. I said, this fucking thing's going to retrace. You're on an oversold green 9. I said, this thing's going to retrace. Now, I said, the ICX needs to hold this. Nope, didn't hold this. All these people were in this ICX trade, right? And just got slaughtered like sheep. Right? Neo, not that bad of a retracement on Neo, right? EOS, yeek, snapped out that 200. That 200 was supposed to act as support. Didn't happen, right? BTT, I mean, I had this. I said, oh, man, this doesn't look good. I was expecting this to push a little farther. Just got absolutely wrecked, right? Held the trend line right there and got destroyed. Tried to make the run, couldn't do it. Ethereum, dude, people were buying into Ethereum up here at 150, 160s. They were all in. People were going hardcore, right?
Yep.
And this is a bear trap. It was clearly a bear trap right here. Now, this is the chart that worries me because
Bull trap.
This was a bull trap, but this doesn't mean this can't turn into a bear trap as we go into the next couple days. This scares me, okay? And let's go over, we're just going to buzz through a couple quick charts here. I know we've been on for a long time. I want to get over here. All right, Dan, let's go back over here. And all right, so there's that one. Okay, so we all see we got the short call. This is our NVT chart. So, yeah, just we're going to get rejected right there. Just did go higher, but we are going to get rejected right there. The monthly is coming. I'm telling you, people, the monthly is coming. Look at this weekly. That is ugly. That's an ugly candle on the weekly. Here's the MACD. Listen, this is the baby bull bounce. I just went over this yesterday. There was that beautiful run up, that massive run up right there, and then we died out to baby bull Jesus. Had the same massive bull run up. Everything was the same. There's that bullish pump. There's the bottom was the same. The bull bounce was the same. And we're up to the same zone. We're actually a little bit higher here. Now you've got another resistance zone a little bit higher. If it's, we get a bounce, it could keep going. But man, this has been a hell of a run. There's your bubble chart. Wow, just what a slam. Slap in the face. This is your multiple Meyer chart. Listen, I said, hey, this mean line will act as support and resistance. Look at that. You peeked over it right there. We're going to have to watch this. This is done on the BLX chart. So this BLX thing, we're going to have to wait to see how this closes tomorrow or opens in the morning. Your TDI chart, everything rolled over. I was saying lower high, higher high. When is the dump? Hello, dump. Where are you? And there's the dump. Like we knew we were looking for the dump. Sorry, this is our NVT chart. This is our NVT chart. We did get rejected off of this area up here. Still, what a freaking run. What an absolute beautiful run by the bulls. I'll give it to them, right? There's that chart. We already went over this. There is that super ugly candle. This is a great vision on this candle right here. How absolutely horrific it was. You hit that monthly support and got whacked out of there. Let's see how this baby closes. I want to see how this puppy closes out here in the next... we've got, 5 hours left, basically. 5 hours.
Yeah, 5 hours, 20 minutes.
Didn't manage to quite come all the way back down here and hit this monthly. This is your monthly support right here. So now all of this shit has just turned into support. And now you got to go all the way back through all this resistance to get back up. Remember, going up and going down, this was, listen, you hit that monthly right there, took a minute, went up. Hit that next monthly, couldn't break over the next monthly, threw in that beautiful shooting star, dumped out hardcore, haven't touched the second monthly yet though. CME, this is our chalk and money flow. Sure, Chon can talk about this also, but got rejected, right? We had a little poke out of here, right? There you go. This is where you had this resistance over here. right? This baby got rejected right there. So that was resistance, and we've been rejected so far by it. I would like to see a break of it. Listen, this is a very important chart. Now, this has me a little bit stumped because we broke out. Usually when we break out, you're going to get a second breakout of this, down, break out of it, and then dump. So we're down. I still would look for another breakout of this baby. It's possible, like we just talked about, come back up and then break back down. Because we do have the 3-day call still. So 3-day call, there was tease 1, there's tease 2. Now this is super important, right? We talked about this 1, 2, higher high. This was 3 legs up. This was a very bullish run right here with 3 top sides up here, right? I said this is crazy. We finally had the capitulation down. We finally bounced off the bottom. Now we are trending bearish here. This you just had this the histo line turn green on you, which is not exactly the sign you want to see, because look, when this histo line turns green and the blue line runs down, which is your bear line, that is very bearish, right? You don't really want that histo line to turn green on you like it just did, because you can't, that thing just look, you just don't want that when it's underneath, when it's up here, it's not good. All right. Weekly, hell of a run on the weekly ADX. We already went over that chart. There's our poo-poo chart. Our poo-poo chart played out exactly what we feared it was. Longs to shorts. Ugly. Shorts keep dumping, dumping, dumping. RSI pulled back on the weekly. Huge. We were up over the top of this resistance line, pulled all the way back, right? Look at this. Now, your Stoke says you still can go lower. Right? Your 12-hour Stoke still says you can go lower. Okay, so we're going to have to watch this, baby, because this huge gap between your leading indicator and your lagging indicator, and you want this to tighten up before you get a bounce, but that is a huge, I'd like to see that baby go all the way to the ground right there. And then the Bollinger Bands. We went over all the Bollinger Band stuff already with everybody. So, just so outside of the Bollinger Bands, once again, there's that weekly candle. Horrific. Chone's got a new chart up. Let's go ahead and take a look at what he's got, and we'll try to get this show over for you guys, but go for it, brother.
Yeah, just a couple more things that I've been watching. I'm a big fan of the cloud, using it to determine areas of support and resistance. Every cloud chart up to the daily was quite bullish. The 12-hour, the 6-hour, the 4-hour price action was all above cloud, all above Tenkan-sen and Kaijin-sen supports up to the daily, and to be able to break into the cloud there without the back test retest of our cloud support, our cloud resistance now turn support, was something I was waiting for. And sure enough, this was the candle that brought us back. And noting how other than the wick through, we are currently finding lower cloud support holding. Now, this can hug us above $3,700 ish over the next couple days here. Just the fact that on the daily, which was the last of the next highest time frame, not to have been achieved with a bullish expansion, Litecoin, EOS, even ETH on the daily was all able to get above the cloud, but to have Bitcoin not be able to do so through this move here, showing almost the lagging of the bullishness consistently with Bitcoin, and just seeing all that money flow into the altcoins itself was kind of a thing here that, well, I'm not sure this is really sustainable. I would want to see Bitcoin a little more aggressive in terms of its bullishness. So we see the back test currently on the cloud support. And listen, I want this to hold. This has been rejected, now acting as support. We were oh so close to a bullish TK cross here. We're basically hugged with both of our indicators here, so still unconfirmed on that. I wanted just to briefly touch on a couple of things here. Our stochastic, our MACD has been very bullish here on the daily, getting both of our indicators above our zero line for the first time since back in September. And we have circumstances on the MACD when we actually do find a rejection. It's a very strong V top rejection, or I guess A-frame top rejection. And currently, we're seeing that potentially play out. There was something on the 2-day chart that was fascinating. The amount of bullish histogram candles we're still up to 67 days here of a 2-day bullish histogram, and we have not seen anything close to that since way back here in May of 17, where we did something like 70 days here of a positive bullish histogram on the 2-day. So I was seeing this as bullish exhaustion on the 2-day, and we still actually, depending upon what happens with Bitcoin, have several days of still having that positive histogram before that falls out. So these are areas where I check to see historical areas of exhaustion, whether it be bullish or bearish. And right now, this was screaming bullish exhaustion. The 3-day as well, almost almost again 68 bars or 68 days, 23 bars on the 3-day of bullishness. We have not seen anything close to that in this bear market, and just getting close to that point there where we wanted to see that exhaustion take place, and perhaps we're still seeing it now. Listen, still bullish on the OBV oscillator. We were watching the stochastic here do this double tap here, and we were expecting this rollover, and there it is, looking for that reset. The TGIDI, watching our red indicator, rarely likes to get above the upper Bollinger for very long. Got rejected right here, got rejected right here, and is over it currently here. So still hanging on to bullishness here. It is a little bit of a trailing indicator there, and it's nice to see our green one get back inside after being way outside our Bollingers here as
So
they were
remember that
expanding.
that also works just like your ADX indicator, where if you go back over time, you get a lower high, then a higher high, then the dump.
Then the dump. Yep, yep. And sure enough, we're playing that out. Now, this is a different Bollinger. We're a little tighter here than some of our last moves here. So I was giving deference to the fact that we were overbought but tight on our Bollingers. And now this pullback has at least stopped that momentum here. So listen, I'm expecting this area for now to kind of hold and find some support. We have a nasty candle on the daily. I don't feel this has to get any nastier. Our weekly upper wick is pretty much in play here. We know where our rejections are. And again, this area of support, whether it be our lower cloud support, our channel support, which we talked about earlier in the show, and then just that overall back test area of the $3,700 area being resistance, now turned into support. All these things are valid for at least the attempt to hold this area here, and potentially try and back test these areas. So all is not lost yet for the Bulls. That's to say the least. But for now, as we kind of close out the week and we get about a third of our day left, hovering in this area of support is key. And I'd be surprised to see, we basically know we're going to have gaps in the CME. So I'd be surprised to see that gap get any wider than it currently is now. So yeah, there is still a bullish scenario that can be in play, literally as long as the $3,700 area of Bitcoin is held, and the chance that ETH might have a little one more push pre-fork, as Vamp said, is definitely still in the cards. But I said this before, once the fork is over, what the hell is the bullish case for Ethereum going forward? After this move here. So I think this is definitely a wake-up call for the market, and especially a lot of new players that may have come back into the market over the past week with either the momentum or the way that crypto was talked about on CNBC. And this is
They
kind of
just
that
got
reality check
wrecked.
at welcome to crypto. This is what happens here
Leave your
when
ass
when
at the door.
I know they're asked the door, and when everything starts to moving in one direction, and especially when crypto Twitter gets as bullish as they were last night. And I said there was reason to be rather optimistic on several indicators, except for some of the things that were kind of um, you know, canaries in the coal mine there, hitting these resistance areas, the overall lower volume profile, and the overbought conditions we were seeing there. The viciousness of this pullback, I definitely feel, took a lot of people off guard. People were like, "Oh, maybe we'll get back into the 37s. I'll be looking for potentially a scalp long in that area." I bet you people didn't think it was going to happen in like an hourly candle here. The way it did, like a 4 hour candle there. So, people went to bed to one aspect of Bitcoin and are clearly waking up to another. And because of this rejection, these areas of rejections are holding, whether it's the overall lower highs or the overall just linear rejections. The 4K area is strong, it is resilient, and it is major resistance once again until proven otherwise.
Yep. All right, everybody. So that's it. I
Yeah.
think we're a great show today. I want to say thank you all so much. Really appreciate you being here, Chone. Dude, awesome. Dude, I miss you, brother. We had a great time in Vegas. Listen, 2019, we will be back for our 2020. When's the next? We're going. I'm sure we're going to go together to Vegas again for the next crypto conference, right? For
Yeah,
Tone Vegas.
2019, next October probably, yeah.
Yep. So
Or
next,
next November.
yeah, next November we're for sure. Tone's doing another one right now in Malta. I won't go there because I'm afraid Tone will probably be assassinated while he is in Malta. He's doing the next one in Malta. I will not be going there for that. So, but I want to say thank you so much. If you do get a chance, please, everyone, go over and give my friend give him some love.
Yeah,
Gonna
you guys
post.
can check out my website,
Oh, oh,
chonistrading.com. I do offer online mentoring, which, if you guys have any interest in that, it's basically a Skype session, about an hour, where we can talk about some of the indicators we just discussed on the show, and we can go into detailed specific trading based on your specific trading style or circumstances. This is a great opportunity if you're a new trader and just want some basic TA background. Definitely something I'd be offering to help out with. Please reach out to me on Twitter DM or email bigchonis@gmail.com.
All right, you're usually supposed to do the shill at the beginning of the show, but we're doing it at the end because I know I always hate, I always hate the early shill show. So I want to say thank you so much. How many people we have watching the show today?
I
Hopefully
think
it
we
was,
peaked at around
yeah,
300 and now we're
geez,
about 250.
nice, nice. Wow. Listen, once again, thank you all so much for being here. The only thing I would ever ask from any of you beautiful people out there is just to go down there, help me save one trader every single day. Listen, we called that pump absolutely perfect. We called the dump absolutely perfect. And I just it's help me help you save the liquidity for this next bull run. Okay, just get down there, gently massage that share button, hit the Twitter button, show some love out there. Anything you can say. I mean, say something nice, say something mean, but just say something. All right, it would help all of us out. Thank you all so much. Really appreciate you all being here. I am the Vamp. That is the Chone. I'm from Trading Associates. Peak Ryan. We got everybody. We got David in the house. We got Darcy in the house. Thank you all so much, team. We are out.